Hello, and welcome to the first session of Broke by Choice of the new year of 2024. My name is Lavender Shedrick Williams. I am owner of Candy Publishing and The Other Woman magazine. Broke by choice. Are you broke by choice? It's got a question mark behind it to ask yourself. I've been broke by choice many times. And what exactly does that mean? Broke by choice is a decision. It's basically a choice that many of us make to not stir up the gifts, talent, skills, or our craft to earn a little extra money. We all have something within us that we can use to be profitable. But for whatever reason, whether it be fear, fear of what others might say, fear of rejection, fear of, it could be laziness, and necessarily not have to be a fear. Laziness is a big one. Procrastination is a big reason why many of us are broke by choice. And as we celebrate this new year coming in, a lot of us have goals and dreams and desires. You know, we press forward on New Year's Eve. We're ready. But today is what, the 6th, 7th, time is passing, whatever day that you're watching this. It'll be mid-January soon. So ask yourself, are you being broke by choice? Are you making any changes? And it could be a small change. It doesn't have to be anything major. Baking, you may enjoy baking or cooking. That's an easy way to turn into a gift. Start slow and test your product out with a few friends and family just to see what happens. Being an artist, have you shared your artwork with anyone? Whatever you do, you could even teach, have workshops. It's just a million things that you could probably do with one idea instead of being broke by choice. And a lot of times we have a gift or a talent, and instead of charging, putting a price on it and knowing our value for our time and our energy, we choose to give it for free. Our information, our time, our product, and I call that prostituting your gift. I prostituted my gift for many years with Candy Publishing until I realized, you know what? Why am I living from paycheck to paycheck when I can turn this skill into a business? So there you have it. And even after Candy Publishing, since I was in high school, I always wanted my own magazine. The other magazines that were out there, which I won't mention their names, I just could not relate to them. They didn't speak to me as a woman. So The Other Woman magazine came out. This is an idea that I had and I wanted to move forward with it. Was it easy? No, it wasn't. I had to use a special magazine for a program to publish magazines. It was a headache. I'm talking blood, sweat, and tears, but it was worth every penny of it. And now it is available digitally in a digital version for free. So on every cover, you're going to see this beautiful flower, but the title changes. And it comes out three times a year. It's only me, so it might be twice a year. It's a lot of work, plus publishing, helping people publish their books. So this one was her rebirth. This was a favorite of mine, Don't Judge Her Journey. This is another one coming out. And I do have contributing writers that submit articles. And I always ask you, if you have an article or something that you would like to share, it's a platform where you can use your voice. And I'm always promoting women and men, and that's a woman's magazine. But men like it. They have a section in the back of the magazine where they can also share their voice and what's issues that they may be having or something that you just want to get off your chest. But it's all about empowering women and knowing your worth, knowing your value. So the other woman has nothing to do with the sexual connotation or cheating, although we do have some articles in there about that. However, going back to the idea, it started with just an idea. So with the new year coming, we celebrate a new year, not realizing we're celebrating the passing of time. We're all going to be a year older this year. So ask yourself, what legacy are you leaving? And that brings us back to Candy Publishing. What legacy are you leaving? There's no better legacy than a legacy in print, because it will always be there. And before I go on, I want to acknowledge my sponsor, Attorney Robert C. Allen. You can reach Attorney Robert C. Allen at 850-438-6800, 850-438-6800, and we'll play his commercial again at the end of the show. And also a huge shout out to WBQP Vernon Watson for this platform. Being broke by choice, I offer this on every show. Well, actually, WBQP offers it. I just put it out. If you're interested in having your own show, if you're interested in giving your business, your organization, your ministry a little bit more exposure, WBQP covers a wide area, the geographical area, Florida, Alabama. You have to go to WBQP.com to see the specific area of coverage, but they cover they reach over 500,000 households. Now, just think if 2, 3, 4 people are in each household. So each time I do a show, I get an email, a phone call from who knows where asking about Candy Publishing. So you could do the same thing with your business or organization. Just step out. It is not that expensive. It's less than $100 a show, but to reach the amount of people that WBQP reach, you can't beat that. So step out of your comfort zone. This is completely out of my comfort zone. I am a writer. I like to be behind my laptop, not in front of the camera. And a lot of people have a hard time believing that because you'll see me on social media, but that's business. If it wasn't for my business, you wouldn't see me as much on social media. I do not like being in front of the camera, but this is what keeps my business alive. This is what keeps Candy Publishing and clients coming. And I always have to wear my brand. It says I am not the average woman, and beneath that it says the Other Woman magazine. But you got to put your brand out there. You are your brand. You got to put yourself out there because everybody is where? On social media. Everybody has got their phone in hand, and you want to be there. If you're not there on social media, your business is suffering. And if you only share your business on your page, you'll have people sharing your business and helping you. You're reaching the same people over and over and over again. So you got to get people to share your business on their pages because it allows a bigger expansion, a larger expansion, more exposure, because their friends may not be your friends. So that's another group of people that are seeing your product, seeing your business. So again, back to having your own show. Why not? Just try it out. What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? If you make baskets, if you're into real estate, if you, there's a lot of people out there with that breed dogs. You know, if you don't need the exposure, fine. But if you're looking for a way to reach more people, WBQP is it. This adds so much more to my business than just being on social media. So you probably see Attorney Robert C. Allen on social media. You see his commercials on television media. You see him, his signage out in town if you're in the Pensacola area. That's the kind of coverage you need, but if you don't have the money, start small. At least be on social media. But give WBQP a try. Call Vernon Watson at 850-293-5007. 850-293-5007. And for under $100 a show, you do it weekly, bi-weekly, however long you want to do it. But get your business out there. Just give it a try. And if you can't afford that, find a sponsor or two, like I did. I thank Attorney Robert C. Allen for sponsoring Broke by Choice. Find someone who wants some exposure, maybe not to do a show, but they would sponsor your show. Just think about it. Just think about it. So I want to talk a little bit about Candy Publishing, and as we pass the time away and celebrating another new year, what legacy are you leaving? We lost a lot of people in 2023. People die every day. But you know what? When you write your story, write a memoir, write your life in a book, it will remain for your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren that you may never meet. So I think about this book here. It's called The Struggle, My Life and Legacy by Bernice Sims. Her grandson came to me and wanted her a story written about her. And I get requests for her book. Candy Publishing was not the publisher of this book, but I was her collaborator. I helped to get her story in print. And she was in a nursing home when I met her. And I sat at the end of her bed for a little over a year and gathered as much information as I could from her. She had a strong mind. She had a strong memory. But it was difficult on some days. It just depended on how she felt. But start a journal. Start writing your notes, your thoughts, your ideas down. And you can turn that into a book, just your notes. This is a journal that Candy Publishing sells. I think it's $3, $5. It's just full of blank pages. But you can get a tablet. You don't have to buy a journal. Get a tablet, anything, and just start jotting your notes, memories, could be recipes, things that you want your family to know about you. And when you are gone, we're all going to leave, we have that book. We have that book that our children and grandchildren, family and friends can read our thoughts, what was in our head. You could even have someone to help you with that. And that's where Candy Publishing comes in. Now, we have a lot of seniors that need help, but you know what? You have to have someone to help you if you're not savvy with the computer, or it's just going to cost more. The more you can do yourself, the better. Now, you may need help getting your words out of your head and in print. This book right here, Sideline, was written by Maurice Harris. Maurice journaled. He was in prison, and he journaled the whole time he was in prison. I think it was 7, 8 years that he was in prison, and he needed help getting his book in print, his journal in print. So he contacted Candy Publishing. Someone referred Candy Publishing to him. He needed help. So Robert Congress, who is a freelance writer, I put them together, and voila, Sideline. It's a wonderful story from FSU to prison and the return to the game of life. He was a Division I athlete for Florida State University. I'm not going to tell you how he ended up in prison. You got to get the book. You can go to Sidelined by Maurice Harris on Facebook, or you can go to Amazon.com and get Sidelined, or you can go to Robert Congress on Facebook, message him about the book. Or Maurice Harris. I'm not sure if Maurice is on Facebook now, but Sidelined by Maurice Harris. That is definitely on Facebook. This is a memoir. A memoir could be any story, any occurrence that has happened in your life, something that was a defining moment in your life. You could have 2 or 3 memoirs. A lot of people think that a memoir is your whole life story. That's actually an autobiography, a chronological documentation of your book from birth to however far you want to take it. But a memoir is like a life-changing experience, something that happened, like I said, a defining moment. And Sidelined is a defining moment, something that happened in Maurice Harris's life. He journaled and turned his journal into a book. It's just that simple. The part that you may need help with is writing. Everybody does not have the ability to write in a way that would capture a reader's attention. So that's where ghostwriters come in. That's where writers come in that help you. And I actually have a special going on now. It's $60 for 60 minutes, where I help you get the words out of your head and on paper. I'm not going to tell you what style I use, but that's one of my crafts, is that I can turn some jumbled words into a book. I can turn little notes and papers into a book. I like to write. Creating content is very difficult for a lot of people, so you want to get someone who knows what they're doing, so you won't have a 50-page memoir. And there's nothing wrong with a book with minimum pages, but if you can create more content, I mean, that's your memoir. That's something that happened in your life. Surely it's more than 20 pages. I talked to a young lady a few days ago who's writing a memoir, something that happened in her life. But it turns out that it might be more of a workbook. So if you're having problems with content, you don't want to pay anyone to help you create content, there are so many other avenues that you can use. But if you're not aware of those, that's where you need to contact a publisher. And there are so many independent publishers out there. Candy Publishing is an independent publisher. There's so many of us out there. You can Google book publishers or publishers, and they will come up by the hundreds. These links are will just overwhelm you. So if you don't know what you're looking for, a lot of the big time publishers prey on writers because they know they're looking to get their book published. My first book was a small book. I think it was 100 pages. Could have been written better? Yes. I cringe every time I look through the book. It could have been written so much better, but I have evolved as a writer since then. I think this book was published in 2009. 2009 I published this book. And this is We Snap in Silence, Unveiling Private Pain and Finding Perfect Peace as a Woman, Wife, and Mother. I was so proud of this. I'm still proud of this book. I think I went through a publisher called Lulu.com. I didn't have my publishing company. I did what I just suggested to you, and I Googled, and Lulu came up, and I paid Lulu, I think it was probably $500 then. You can't get a book published for $500 now. You could do it yourself. Self-publishing is very easy. There are a few companies out there. A lot of people aren't aware of it, But self-publishing is very easy. If you're computer savvy, you can save yourself some money. I offer coaching on that also. I'm trying to get out of publishing so I can write. I just want to be a writer. I want to be able to write my own books. But I'm busy trying to get the last few books off of my plate, and I'm coaching you. I want to teach you how to do what I do so you can publish your own book. It's not that difficult. If you're computer savvy, you can do it. But that's why publishers get paid. A lot of people are not comfortable with the computer. So think about that as you consider leaving your legacy. What legacy are you leaving, and why not write a book? Why not think about your legacy in print? Call Candy Publishing or anyone that you know that might publish a book or help you publish a book or has published a book. Get in their head, ask them for help, ask them to guide you. That's basically what you need, is some guidance. But the first thing to do is to just write. Just write. And that sounds so simple, but if you can hold a conversation, if you can talk to someone, you can write. It's just that easy. Write as you speak. You don't have to write so eloquently as if you're publishing a book. Write like you talk. Write like you're having a conversation. So if you're sitting there listening to me, you say, oh, I really want to write a book, but I cannot write. If you talk, you can write. And then you get an editor to help you put all those words together and format them into a book. It's really, I'm not going to say it's that easy. It's easy for me, but you might need a little help, a little guidance. But just start journaling. Get you a pencil, a tablet, and just start writing your thoughts. As if you're never going to get it published, just start writing. And don't think, well, I can't put that in a book. I'm not going to write. Write everything. Write everything that comes into your mind. Now, I am running out of time, but again, I want to share, it doesn't matter what age you're in either. It doesn't matter. This woman was in her 80s, so don't ever think it's too late. If you're watching this, I don't know if you believe in signs. Some people say, oh, that's a sign. You know, you've probably thought about writing a book for a long time. What is stopping you? And this is actually a business, but you have to think about why you're writing. Everybody doesn't write for a business. Some people just want to write and leave a legacy. They want to write their family history. They want to leave something behind. It doesn't have to be a bestseller and try to make the New York Times bestseller or whatever best-selling list you want to get on. It could be just for your friends and family. It could be for a group of women. It could be for a particular market. It could be just for you to say, hey, I did it. So I like using Sideline because this guy was in prison. And I'm working on another book now for a guy who is on death row. His book will be out soon. We are still in the editing process, but he is on death row. He was referred to me from a mutual friend, and he didn't have a pot to piss in. So I'm doing it for him. The book is, well, I was helping him write the book. He journaled in prison, just helping him get all of his papers and works together. We went through a lot of emails, a lot of snail mail, but it's a great book. If you like me on Facebook, you can see his cover and find out more when the book will be released early this year. It will be released this year. It's called Life, Reflections from Death Row. Reflections of life from death row. And it's just him being on death row and reflecting back on his life and all of his enlightenment and the lessons that he's learned. It's a great book. It was life-changing for me, life-altering for me as I put the book together. But if someone that's been to prison and someone on death row can write a book, what's your excuse? You can do it. Call Candy Publishing, 850-725-4894, 850-725-4894, or you can email candypublishing1 at gmail.com. candypublishing1 at gmail.com. Now, if you call me, it is going to go to voicemail. It'll say something, but if you leave a message, I will call you back. But again, don't be broke by choice. Don't make a decision in 2024 to be broke by choice. Empower, encourage yourself. And the word encourage is pouring courage in to yourself. You can do it. If I can stand here and be uncomfortable for 25, 26 minutes, and I'm an introvert, if I can do this, you can do this. You can host your own show. If I can write a book, you can write a book. There's really no difference, because if you're not strong in a certain area, you just find someone where that's their strength, someone who's an expert. And that's how we all come together and get what we need done. And we can do it. You can do it. So don't let 2024 be another year of sitting down, of procrastination, of laziness. Think about it one day at a time. What are you doing with your time today? What are you doing with your time today? Thank you again to WBQP TV for this platform. You can contact Vernon Watson, 850-293-5007. And I'm thanking attorney Robert C. Allen again for his sponsorship. And we are gone until next week. Have a great day. Bye-bye.